Hey guys, welcome back to the Fringe Fitness Project. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I had a vacation and some other minor troubles, but this is going to be the third part of the Back to Basics series. So if you're just catching it on this one, there's two previous to this, and it's just kind of explaining that leveling up. You know, it's a bursting through the ceiling is the way I like to look at it, and it becomes your new floor. Your new heavies. My new heavy is double 28s, and it's it's been exposing a lot, to say the least. Got a pretty cool circuit as well as an EMOM as usual. Once again, if you're new here or if you've been here before, you know I tend to do a lot more of the fringe and some of the weirder stuff. I like to put together some weird circuits. I like to have the fun stuff, the stuff that keeps it interesting, but right now I'm in a little bit different of a season. You know, I've said this before, I don't have any particular goals other than staying active and staying, you know, fun and mobile and those kinds of things. But right now my focus is on getting stronger. I'm kind of, how do I put it? I'm a lot more focused on the basics, which is hence the Back to Basics series. I'm gonna do another video, probably hoping by the end of this weekend, because it can be a little bit shorter. But I want to go over something that I experienced, which were exertion headaches. I don't wish them on my worst enemy, and I want to do everything and anything I possibly can. If somebody else is in the same position, they find that video and they have a possible solution for it, because it's not fun and it's also discouraging because it keeps you from what you want to do, which is get stronger. So, like I said, back from vacation, was in the Outer Banks, for anybody that cares, or if you've been there before. Pretty damn cool place. It was my first time. Really enjoyed myself. It was very interesting being in a place where wild horses were the squirrels of the environment. But the first movement you're gonna see, let's get into this one. Also, guys, I wanna remind you, if I haven't already, I don't tend to say this in my videos. I feel like it always bothered me when people said, please subscribe and all that other stuff. But I also know how quick and easy it is to kind of forget about it as you're watching the video. But if I'm earning, you know, if you're into the first part of this and you go, yeah, man, this is what I'm into, this is what I'm about, don't forget to like it, subscribe. This is another thing I always heard people say, is that, you know, it really helps the algorithm. It really does. You get a lot of metrics in the YouTube thing, and it kind of shows you stuff. So it really actually does help. So if you want to see more of this, if you want to get it pushed out to more people, that lets me know you guys are actually interested in what I'm doing. So if I do earn it throughout this video, don't forget to like, you know, subscribe for sure, and share it as well. Share it with somebody who you think would find it interesting. All right, first part of the circuit was a double 20 jerk. It wasn't a long cycle, it was just a jerk. The long cycle is much more difficult. Really, I usually would use a double 16, but like I said, I've been leveling up, and I know I'm not going to get 15 to 20 reps of just a straight jerk. I know it's going to be lower, and I do film everything at the, what would you call, like the fourth round of the circuit. With the stuff being heavier, I've been doing about 4. I'm not doing the 5 or 6. I just don't have it in me, but doesn't mean I won't get to that point at some point. There's lots of different ways you can change intensity, whether it be more rounds of a circuit, more reps in that given circuit, heavier weights. So I've just been honoring myself for where I'm at. I'm just not there yet. So double 20 jerk. I'm telling you what, with starting to use heavier weights and really focusing on, I will call it practicing my long cycle, not performing my long cycle, I've become infatuated with the idea of it. I didn't get it before, but I really get it now. And I'll go over more of that in the EMOM part, because that's the giveaway part of the EMOM. That's what it was. Anyway, double 20 jerk. It's what you guys are going to see next. It's very exposing, you know, when you can't do as many reps. But I will say I'm quite happy with where I'm at with it. So you guys are going to see that now. So for the next part of the circuit, one thing you're gonna kind of notice about this Back to Basics series is it's a lot of grind type movements for the most part. And there is, for me, I think that there's no more difficult grind than double front squats or heavier front squats. The front squat is a very, very interesting thing. It involves a lot of mobility. If kettlebells are kind of new to you, the double kettlebell front squat is very exposing, and you're limited by your mobility, as well as how much strength you have in your upper body as well to manage the bells. The squatting part is almost the easiest part. It's the range of that motion under load and how far can you go is kind of the way I look at it. Did this with double 28s. This was later in the rounds, and you'll see where what's limiting me is maintaining the bells in that rack position as I go down. Any instability I have, I tend to lose, like I'm less stable in my left side, and I tend to lose that bell. So it's really, really interesting. You think about it, double 28s is, we'll just call it 120, what is it, 126 pounds? Yeah, 126 pounds or 124 pounds. If you had 124 pounds as a back squat, it would not be that difficult, It doesn't sound like a lot of weight when it's in that front rack position. There's so many other variables that come into it. It's just with balance, mobility, all those things. And I was able to, in the earlier rounds, I was getting in the like 8 to 10. And I think in these later or last rounds, I think I was only able to get 7 or 6. It's another thing with this Back to Basics bit. I haven't really been counting reps. In the end parts of it, I'm just looking at, well, what can I start off with? Where am I at? And then where do I kind of end? In between it, I haven't been too concerned. So you guys are gonna watch that now, and you'll see my left side is where I struggle with, and it just kind of shows me even more now. When I was getting into those lower reps, I wanted to just more time under that load, so I would just do loaded marches, which if you haven't done just loaded marches with heavier weight, give it a try. It tends to move, with your body moving, it moves those bells around, and I feel that it's almost like a micro auxiliary lift to the front squat, just because of how much you have to stabilize those bells. So enjoy this next part, guys, and we'll get into the third part of the circuit. So guys, the last part of this, and you're gonna see this has been in every single one of these Back to Basics. And I will have to say that this has probably been the biggest shock and surprise to me, because it's a long time since I've just done, single bell hand-to-hand swings. In the past few months, and I would have to say a lot of it, I definitely owe it to videoing myself. Man, I saw how poor my hand-to-hand swing was, how much I was giving way, twisting, it was just not good. I don't know how else to say it. It just wasn't good. It was very, very telling and shocking to see actually on video. And it was like, my God, I can see why so many different things. This is what I'm so grateful for with it as well. I cannot tell you how much every other aspect of my kettlebell game has improved by seeing and fixing things in my single hand-to-hand swing. I didn't know, I just didn't know that it was gonna do that. So now I'm gonna tell you guys that seeing it on video, like I said, I never utilized my other arm in the backswing. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. Now I'm very conscious of it, and I'm very, very into it. How much I was letting the bell torque and twist me versus what I'm using now is I keep my eyes locked on that 10-pound mace there, and I try to keep the bell, no matter what side it's on, my feet position doesn't move, and I try to keep the bell in line with that. And it's kind of like a visual thing, like if you're, shooting a gun on iron sights, how you tend to, you just kind of know your area. I don't know why I'm thinking of it like that, but that's the way I'm thinking of it. In doing that, of course, right now, of course, I have a fire going for you. Go sit in front of the fire, goofball. No. You still are the friendliest little kitty ever. So where was I? Oh, with my hand swing. I mean, it really has changed a lot of stuff. One of the biggest things I've noticed is how much it has cleaned up my clean. My clean has gotten so much better. And I think it's just, I know it has to do with that, as well as how many I've been doing. It's been a higher volume. I've been doing probably, let's see, I would do like 35, 40 or 35, 40. So you've got 70 plus 80, that's a lot of hand-to-hand swings, at least for me, compared to what I was doing. And with heavier weights, if I was doing that before, I would probably use like 20 or 16. I've been sticking with either a 28 or a 24, and it's been the #1 thing I want to say. So we're gonna move on to the EMOM now. I really like this one. I did get it the way I wanted it to go. So we're gonna get into that in just a moment. Okay, so now for the EMOM. This one has been one that I've done before, but I'm just so pleased with. This goes back to what that single, hand-to-hand swing and just doing a lot of them and being very intentional while I'm doing them. The EMOM that I did was a single-sided long cycle, and I would just do it hand-to-hand. I started off with a single 28. And I'll tell you what, the first one even, felt, I was able to film the first, the 5th, and the 10th for the 10 minutes. And I like to do that because then for myself, this is the selfish side of me, I get to watch as, well, what's breaking down? Where am I getting weak? And why am I getting weak there? What do I need to improve? And the single side, long cycle, you really get to focus on one bell. I like that a lot. I also can go heavier. And I'm very pleased, I must say. Is it perfect? I'm sure no. Somebody that's pro could pick it to pieces, but for me, I can feel the improvement. And I was able to get the first through the 4th ones with a single 28. And then my left shoulder, I kind of honored myself a little bit and said, all right, you're getting a little wobbly and unstable, and every time you do this, you end up putting yourself out of commission for a couple days to anything overhead because you overdo it and you're just not there. So you versus you, man. And I moved on to a single 24, which at points was challenging and difficult. It felt like an absolute breeze. It felt so damn good. My clean with the Kettlebell Kings bells was so it was getting better with the other bells, but those ones I kept having trouble with. And I just got so much quicker on my snap, and I was just being so much more intentional. And I'm telling you what, I'm so damn happy with how that came out and how that looks and how it feels. And it just felt good. It felt really good. And you know, I have no formal training of any kind. I have YouTube training and the on-the-job baptism by fire training. I might go through something for a while and I'm like, man, this just ain't right. This hurts or this doesn't feel good. And then I find somebody who knows more than me and I try to implement it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So again, guys, if I earned it from you, drop a like, subscribe. Again, the comments are my favorite part of it. I love chopping it up with you guys. I love chatting with you guys. I love the questions. And just seeing other dudes, you know, getting after it. And I can say that pretty confidently. I think 99.8% of my views are from the dude crowd. So again, guys, thanks so much for watching. Sorry it took a couple, you know, so long to get out. I had a lot going on, but hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. God damn. Oh yeah. Felt good. Felt real good.